Hello, folks, and welcome to the first edition of online coachings or masterclasses, or whatever you'd like to call them, or however you'd like to think of them, with yours truly. My name is Ted Ganger. In classical circles, actually Theodore, but actually ever since I started writing songs, I've sort of come to terms with calling myself Ted. So you can call me whatever you like. I wanted to say a few things about myself before we start. For all of those who don't know me, um, I am an American, as you probably hear, and I grew up in Cleveland and studied conducting and piano in New York. And from there, I came to Germany many, many years ago. And after a year as a Fulbright scholar, I started my glorious career in the opera houses of Germany as a coach and then as a conductor. And except for 5 years working freelance out of New York in between, I have made my career all these years in Germany. I've worked in 7 different opera houses as a coach, a conductor, and what they call the Studienleiter, which is sort of the head of the music staff. I've also performed a lot as a pianist, a solo pianist, a lead pianist, and a chamber music partner, and doing various cabaret things. And about 11 years ago, I started writing songs, of which you will hear one later. And during all that time, I also got to know singers, classical singers, opera singers, also a few non-classical singers, and had the pleasure of working with them and coaching them and supporting them in every way I could and learning a lot from them. And one of the things that I got to learn or got to experience was accompanying or listening to between 8 and 10,000 opera auditions for agencies and in opera houses. So I got to know the standard audition repertoire very well. And we're going to hear 2 arias from that repertoire tonight. Obviously, they're taken from real operas, very popular operas, La Bohème by Puccini and Carmen by Bizet. But they are especially popular, these arias, among singers because they are used for auditions. And so I'd like to especially think in terms of the presentation of these arias alone or as part of an audition program, because that's one of the reasons why so many singers learn and perform these arias. They're very good for auditions. Now, I have 3 singers this evening, and the first is a former coachee of mine from I forgot to say, I also was a faculty coach for 19 years at the Hochschule für Musik und Theater in Munich. In other words, the State Conservatory University. And I had the great pleasure of meeting there Andrea Jörg, who is not only a wonderful singer and a wonderful person on classical stages, but she can also do all sorts of crossover and musical and things like that. In other words, she's very versatile and she's good at combining different styles. And she's also a pleasure to work with. And so I've invited her to sing this evening one of the arias that she uses when she's auditioning for opera. And it is the aria, it's called Musetta's Waltz, because it's a sort of slow waltz from Puccini's La Bohème, and it's sung by a character named Musetta. So at this point, I would like to introduce Andrea Jörg. Oh, I forgot to say, I've asked each of the singers to make a sort of a homemade video recording of them singing this aria, which you can hear as a basis for the coaching. So I'd like to introduce Andrea and ask her to say a few words, and then we will play the video that she made of this aria, and then we'll work a little bit. So I'm turning this over to you now, Andrea. Welcome.
So, hello to everyone out there. My name is Andrea. Yes, Ted said so many things about me, so I think I don't have to say much about me. I make it very short. I'm a soprano. Yeah, surprise, surprise. And I studied in Würzburg and in Munich, and I sang a few roles in different opera houses or theaters in Gärtnerplatz in Munich or am Staatstheater in Nürnberg. So for example, yes, I love to switch between the styles, between the genres. So I don't only sing opera. I love to sing musical and other genres. But for today, for tonight, I sing Quando me vo. I think that's it about me.
Well, I think that's already very, very good, but I will try to think of a couple things to say. First, let me say some compliments, of which there are many to be given. You sing very cleanly. Your sound is beautiful. There's wonderful legato, and I must say also in these Corona times when everybody has to make do usually with playback, unless their husband or wife or sister or brother is a willing pianist. We take what we get. And since I'm a pianist myself, I've never looked for these things on YouTube, but I understand that there is a lot of these arias available with various piano, sometimes orchestra accompaniments. And they are sometimes, I guess, pretty good. I think this one is pretty good. And sometimes they're terrible. But it's never the same as live, where someone is hearing you and you're hearing that person and you're making music together. So considering that, I think you do a terrific job of going along with this pianist. I don't even know whether the pianist has a name. Maybe his or her name is Pocket Pianist or something. But whoever it is, he or she can't hear you. So you do that really, really very well.
Thank you.
But let's just assume that we have a real pianist to work with, and you have a little bit more freedom than you do right here with this playback. Now, for those of you out there who don't know this opera or don't know this aria, I'd like to say a little bit about the character and the situation, if you don't mind, Andrea, unless you'd like to say it.
No, I think you know it much better.
Okay, there are two women in La Bohème. One is named Mimi, and she's portrayed as not so passionate, as more kind of warm-hearted and self-sacrificing and sensitive and stuff like that. And she has some nice things to sing too. And then there's Musetta, and Musetta is more of a showgirl type. Now you have to imagine this is 1850 in Paris, before there were real showgirls, even before there was the Place Pigalle or the Moulin Rouge or Crazy Horse or anything like that. But I think there's always been sort of a showgirl type, and Musetta is that type. She likes men, and she had a relationship or an affair, something like that, with one of the main males in La Bohème named Marcello. But she left him because he didn't have any money, and she likes luxury. So this, in the second act of La Bohème, is a scene that takes place on Christmas Eve. It's not like in Germany, where everybody stays home on Christmas Eve and maybe sings a few Christmas songs and exchanges presents. On Christmas Eve in Paris, at least in 1850, they all went out and had a good time. So they're in this big, it's not a nightclub, it's some sort of locality called Café Momus. And all the friends, the male friends, have gone there to celebrate. And in comes Musetta with this rich old guy that she's with because he has money, and she is willing to accommodate herself or him for his money for the time being. And she comes in the room and sees at the other end of the room, sitting at a table with his friends, Marcello. And she knows that Marcello is still in love with her. And in a way, she's still in love with Marcello. And he's ignoring her. And Musetta is not the sort of person who likes to be ignored. And so she gets up on a table, or maybe she just stands up in the middle of this densely populated restaurant. I know it's hard to imagine, but there were times when dozens or hundreds of people at very close quarters were in the same place together, having a good time. And those times will come again. Anyway, this is one of those times. And Musetta says to herself, I will not be ignored. And so she starts out singing. And the music that Puccini gives to her to sing, he calls a slow waltz, a valse lento. So it's important that the musetta, who's providing the music for this too, you have to imagine, there's nobody there. So she's singing to this imaginary orchestra. So she's making the music happen. And she's singing a slow and very sensual waltz. And what she's singing about is meant to provoke. It's meant to provoke Marcello. It certainly provokes the old guy she's with and everybody else in the room. And what she's saying is that when I walk down the street all alone by myself, soletta, so she's being sort of flirty about it. Everybody looks at me because I'm so hot. And they undress me with their eyes. They wonder what I look like naked based on what they can see. I'm just translating now from the libretto. And I can taste the desire coming from their eyes all around me. And I love it. And you, and now she turns. And so the whole time she's sort of been singing for herself or for everybody in the room. And of course, they're all a little scandalized, or maybe they're aroused, who knows? But you have to imagine that you are the audience. I mean, you in the audience are in this room, listening to this showgirl make up this tune about how everybody wants her and she thinks it's great. And now she turns and addresses directly Marcello at the other end of the room. And she says to him, and you know all about me. You know what I look like. You know what it's like to be with me. And it's killing you. How can you refuse me like this? You're dying. And that's what this aria is about. So now I want to hear that.
Okay.
So I know that you in that room, you're not really in the Café Momus, or they've redecorated. But so you have to make it like you're singing for yourself, and you have to start the phrases very piano. You start very healthy, and it's beautiful, and the sound's there, immediate, and it's flowing. But can you start really piano and then let it grow? Quando men vo soletta per la via. And then she goes on. And then when you go up, and you make one little mistake. E la bellezza mia. The comes on the 3, and you change the vowel too soon. That's just a very small thing. But when you go up, e la bellezza mia, tutta migliore in me. Da, 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 ba, da, 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 da. So that has to be totally unexpected. Like, she's so extreme. And she is extreme. Otherwise, she wouldn't be singing this. So I'd like to hear you do these gestures a little bit more consciously, like it's all a show. And it's important when you sing that you're singing to someone and you're focused on who you're singing to and why. In other words, what effect you're trying to get by the way you're singing. So could you turn that anonymous pianist on once more and sing the first part again? And I will interrupt then.
Okay.
Be in character.
Quando ben vo soletta per la via, la gente sosta e mira. E la bellezza mia, tutto ricercan me da capo a piedi.
Yes, like that. And I especially like that the camera is a little bit below you, so I'm looking up at you while you sing it, and it's oh my God. I mean, like, she's really something. That's the way you have to sing it in auditions or on stage. I mean, when you're in audition, and I want to say something basic about all audition arias, you have to try and imagine you are on stage with everybody else and an orchestra, and these grumpy-looking people listening to you and writing are your audience. They're your victims. They're your Marcello. And you can do whatever you want with them.
That's a good
That's
thinking.
what I want to feel.
Yeah.
So now one technical thing. You know, I don't know anything about voice technique, but I do have a good sense of intonation. And when you come down, be careful on that that's D sharp and the C sharp do not sink down when you're coming down, that they're well supported, that you're singing, you're supporting through the entire line. But what you did dynamically and what you did with your face, that was fantastic. We have to feel like you are someone who is used to, she can do whatever she wants with people, especially with men. You know?
I do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a cat playing with a mouse. And there's nothing you like better than to play with us. So can you go on from there?
Yeah.
Era saporo valor. So now in this next part, she's saying, and I taste, I can feel the desire coming from everybody out of their eyes, and they're seeing what I'm showing them, and they're wondering what the rest is like too. And that just makes me so happy. And then we get to the climax of Felice mi fa, and that has to be a real climax. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good.
I think so.
Give it to us. Come on.
Okay. Ed assapor allor la bramo sia sottil, che dagli occhi traspira, e dai pallisi vezzi intender sa, all'occulte beltà, così le fluvio del desio tutto mangerà, felice mi fa, felice mi fa.
Great. Be careful in your lower voice, even when you're being very intimate, that it's so well supported. Era sapor valor labramo sia soti. these notes that are kind of like in soprano, no man's land. They need a special attention, that they have enough meat on them and they don't go flat. So just to think about this analytically, it goes and goes up, and then it goes back down. And then she kind of flirts. And then she starts reacting because the orchestra is now playing, and she's accompanying the melody she just sang and reacting to it. And she's saying, that gets me so excited. It makes me like really happy. So so in other words, the waves that Puccini is creating for you are rising higher and higher and higher until we get the climax. So I'd like to hear that one more time. And then I'd like to hear the last part, because now there's a big shift. So far, she's been putting on a show just like for everybody. But now she's putting on a show for everybody, but especially for Marcello. And he's far away. And so she has to sing that in a way that is very quiet, but intense. It goes to the very other end of the room and goes right into his body. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, I think so.
So this is, and again, we're at this point, we're not just the other guests in the restaurant. We are Marcello.
Okay.
So
I start from the Ed Assaporo allora.
Yes, if you don't mind, yeah.
Ed assapor allor la bramo sia sottil che dagli occhi traspira e dai pallisi vezzi intender sa alle occulte beltà così le fluvio del desio tutta bagira felice mi fa felice mi fa e tu che sai che memorie ti struggi dammi tanto rifugi so le cose tue non le vuoi dir so ben ma ti senti morire.
That's really, really good. I would just like, now I know that you're limited by this playback because he or she does not give you quite enough time to breathe at the end. But what I would like, again, this when you go up to da 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 ya da, that also has to be like you're celebrating yourself, and it has to be like almost too much for us. And then after that, you have to go Mati senti morire. So there has to be a steady line. I feel like you're going down and then coming back up. And it has to be one thing. Mati and hold it. Hold it in forte. And then take it away. And just to give a word of advice to all you other sopranos out there who want to sing Musetta, if you can't play with this last climactic B natural, take it full in forte and then pull it back to piano, don't sing this aria because they're waiting to hear that. Andrea can do it. So can you do just do a cappella, so bella, and so from here on, so it's coming closer and closer, and just let it happen. Don't pull back. Don't look down. Just let it happen.
Okay.
So ben le conoscetto e non le vuoi dir, non le vuoi dir so ben, ma ti senti morire.
That's good. Except at the end, you're waiting. Matisse, just go Matisse, and make sure those notes are there, and hold it out in forte a little longer, and then just as you're turning around to leave, then you pull it back into piano. Once more.
So ben le conoscetto e non le vuoi dir, non le vuoi dir so ben, ma ti senti morire.
Good. That's very good. Very good. Now, when you put all this together, next time you do this, just think of this. This is your scene, and it's full of information. It's information about who you are, how you feel, and how we feel, and put us in every sense of the word. Put us in our place.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay. Good. That was fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you very
Andrea.
much. That was
Thank
very
you.
great. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I think we will move on to the next singer. Her name is Mine Yücel, and I have never actually worked with her before. She's someone whom I know just through Facebook, and I was also a guest on her series called Beyond Singing that she's done very successfully on Facebook, and she interviewed me in my capacity as a singer-songwriter. So I'm really, really looking forward to hearing her sing for the first time and working with her. And I would like her to introduce herself, and then we're going to hear another dance, also in 3/4 time, actually 3/8 time, and it is sung by another femme fatale, or perhaps the femme fatale in all of opera. No, it's not Donana. It's not Brünnhilde. It's Carmen. And I think when you have met Mine and heard and seen her sing it, you will think, oh, yes, that's Carmen. So I'll turn this over to you first, Mine, and I'd like you to hear a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and where you are right now in your development and where you're going. And then hear the recording that you have made of one of Carmen's arias. So welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very funny actually that we never met. We really only met on Facebook.
Someday.
Someday, hopefully after this pandemic. Well, I'm a soprano, and I've been working as a soprano for the last 10 years maybe. And as a freelancer, I did many roles in different theaters. And the last roles I did were Constanze and Silva Varesco. I love doing operetta. And I also love doing Mozart, actually. But today there is Carmen, and right now I'm transitioning to a mezzo soprano from soprano. So this is actually my first official mezzo soprano come out. So this is my coming out.
So all of you out there, you were there
Right.
in the moment when Mina Yücel outed herself as a mezzo. So
Right.
this is it.
Right.
So let's hear it.
Près de remparts de Séville, chez mon ami Spastia, j'irai danser la Séguedille, boire du manzanilla. J'irai chez mon ami Spastia. Oui, mais toutes se lancent dire, et les vrais plaisirs sont à deux. Donc pour me tenir compagnie, j'emmènerai mon amoureux. Mon amoureux, il est adorable, je l'ai mis à la portière. Mon pauvre cœur très consolable, mon cœur est libre comme l'air. J'ai des galons à la douzaine, mais ils ne sont pas à mon gré. Voici la fin de nos semaines, qui veut m'aimer, je l'aimerai. Qui veut mon âme, elle est à prendre. Vous arrivez au bon moment. Je n'ai guère le temps d'attendre, car avec mon nouvel amant, près du rempart de Séville, chez mon ami Spastia, nous danserons la Séguedille et boirons du manzanilla. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Oh, you're muted.
Why did somebody muted me? Am I on now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay, good. I don't know what it was like for you, Mina, or the people out there, but the picture was not in sync with the sound.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So I've seen it differently, and I can assure all of our viewers that she actually does move her mouth at the same time that the appropriate sounds are coming out.
Yeah.
Now, I would first of all like to pay you a few compliments. You sound fantastic. Your voice is really gorgeous. And what I especially like about it is I understand a lot of text, most of the text, but I never lose the sense of line. There's just what seems like a natural line that is just such a pleasure to listen to. That's wonderful. And also I hear different colors and you're playing with it. And I mean, watching you, even if it's not in sync with the sounds coming out, I think, yes, this is my idea of Carmen. Of course, you know, you might think that a very tall, thin blonde is Carmen, but not for me. And also, I like the way you like pull the shoulder down of this. You know, that's good because I've accompanied Carmen's in agency auditions where they've come in with a red rose in their hair, you know, or with castanets or a fan or anything like so Spanish. But all you have to do is just pull down the shoulder. And I think, yes, less is more. Now, I had already spoken about the curse for singers of pandemic times, aside from the fact that nobody gets to sing or make music live, is the fact that the playbacks that we have to sing to, that you have to sing to, are not necessarily of your own choice. And so you take what you get.
Right.
And apparently this was the only playback you could find with piano of this version of the aria. Now I should tell people, just as I said a little bit about Musetta, you perhaps know all about Carmen, but I would like to just say a little bit about her situation. She is introduced as someone who, well, first of all, she makes this big entrance in another aria called the Habanera, where she talks about how free love is. It does what it likes, and there's nothing you can do about it. But she has now been arrested for causing a fight in the cigarette factory in Séville, where she works, because she slashed some other girl in the face with a knife. So she has a very fiery temperament, and she does what she likes. And that's actually what her whole story is about in the course of the opera. She does what she likes, and she pays the price, and she's willing to pay the price. But the most important thing for her is to be free, and she's been arrested, and she's put in jail, and her hands have been tied, probably behind her back. And she's been put in charge of a young soldier from the country named, now I don't know, obviously Carmen was written by a Frenchman, but the characters' names are Spanish. So I don't know, do you call him Don José or Don José? Do you refer to Séguedille or Séguedille? Or do you refer to Manzanilla or Manzanilla? You prefer the Spanish thing, at least as far as I know, that's Spanish. But that's a decision that everybody has to make. But he has forbidden her to speak. And so this entire aria has to be sung and played in a way that she can pretend she's just singing to herself. But what she's really doing, she's not just doing this to pass the time. She's doing this because she wants to be free again. And this soldier has power over her. He's been told to keep guard on her, and probably because she's, cute and dangerous, he's told her not to speak. And so the orchestra part is written in the score as soft as possible. That's also, by the way, the indication for the habanera. It has to be like it's coming from somewhere else. And also this. So that she can afford to start very softly, just as Musetta starts her phrases very soft, as if she's singing for herself. And it's not her problem if somebody else hears her, because she was told to be quiet, and she's being quiet. But what she's really doing is dispensing information. And she does not waste a single word. She doesn't repeat herself. Everything she says is directed to Don José. And she is saying, outside the ramparts of Seville, there's this place I hang out in. It's run by a game named Lilas Pastia. And I go there and drink and dance. But the real pleasures can only be had with someone else. And it's boring to be alone. And so I go there and I take my lover. What, my lover? He can go to hell. I threw him out yesterday. My poor little heart, it's so easy to console, and it's as free as the breeze. Of course, dozens of men who want me, but they're not to my taste. But it's the end of the week now, it's a weekend, and if somebody happens to come along there, you know, at Lilas Pasture, you haven't forgotten. Maybe I would love him. Now, I don't have any time to lose here. Now, at that point, in the original opera, José breaks in because he's getting, as we say, very hot and bothered. And he's saying, shut up. I told you not to speak. And she says, and up till now, it's been very quiet. She sung relatively quietly. Now, of course, what's quiet in an opera is different from quiet in a Schubert Lieder evening, but relatively quietly. And he says, be quiet. I forbid you to speak. And she said, I didn't speak. I was just singing for myself and thinking. It's not forbidden to think. And I'm thinking of a poor little soldier boy. He's not even an officer. He's just a simple soldier. But he's kind of cute. And if we could come to terms, if we could reach an agreement here, and at that point, now that's cut out of the audition thing, unfortunately. So in this development of the scene, she has to skip over that and suddenly jump to the end where she repeats the first part, except now it's in forte. And she says, so we will go to Lilas Pasture outside the ramparts of Séville, and we will dance and we will drink manzanilla, right? And that's how it ends. So, and shortly after that, he says, you'll be there, right? Now, one thing about Carmen is she does keep her word and she pays her debts. She doesn't promise anything and doesn't deliver it. But I mean, okay, he's a guy and he is cute and she's got nothing better to do and she's willing to pay the price. So that's what this is about. And we have to feel when you're in there in the set afau or some drab basement room or something like that, and the pianist can't play it and you can't see the people. We have to feel you are Carmen and we are Don José. Just as in the previous aria, we were Marcello. So we like to be men who are in love with you and suffer, and you like to make us suffer. So Carmen has a lot in common with Musetta.
Right.
So you have to put us in that place too. Now, what I said about the playback, I listened to this playback, this thing that you did, and I said, do you have a playback that's a little slower? And you said, no, unfortunately not. In this version, the cut version for opera, this is all I could get. And it is too fast. And I must say, you do a fantastic job, considering it's all too fast and you barely have time to breathe. But I recorded the accompaniment, sort of as we call it, quick and dirty, on my iPhone and sent it to you, I think, yesterday. And if you can load that up and sing to that, it might be a little bit more to your taste.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But before we do that, I would like to say a couple things to you.
Mm-hmm.
Start as quietly as possible, but the way Musetta sings, where it's directed at one person, I want to hear that you're just singing on one line, but it's absolutely penetrating. And I know you can do this. And your pronunciation, as I say, your diction is very good and your pronunciation is good, but it isn't perfect. Maybe because I was in a hurry. So fix the things like oui, mais toute seule, or j'emmènerai, not j'emmènerai, je mènerai mon amoureux. It's got to be, since your diction is so clear, your pronunciation has to be perfect. And you're very close. You're very close. I could almost believe that you're French or Spanish, but not quite. Now, one thing that Carmen does also is she changes gears. She shifts gears very suddenly. So we know she's a real spitfire. You know, she can be incredibly loving or wild and savage or totally submissive or totally dominant, just like that. And I need to feel that. For instance, je mènerai je les mets à la portière, mon pauvre. Like suddenly she's changed completely. And this is one of the things that fascinates everybody about Carmen is these sudden shifts. So I need to have more of that. So could you sing through it again?
Yeah.
Now this is me playing.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yes, this is you playing.
Près des remparts de Séville, chez mon ami la Spastia, j'irai danser la Séguedille, bord du Manzanilla. J'irai chez mon ami la Spastia. Oui, mais toutes selon ses nuits, et les vrais plaisirs sont à deux. Donc pour me tenir compagnie, j'emmènerai mon amoureux. Mon amoureux, il est au diable, je l'ai mis à la portière. Mon pauvre cœur, très consolable, mon cœur est libre comme l'air. J'ai des gamins à la douzaine, mais ils ne sont pas à mon gré. Voici la fin de nos semaines, qui veut m'aimer, je l'aimerai. Qui
Okay, stop. Can you stop? That's very good. One thing that I like, you solve a lot of this problem of not being too loud and not speaking and not singing to us by looking off to the side. It's fantastic. It's like, no, I don't mean you. No. There was somebody over there outside. No, I'm just thinking. Fantastic. That solves so much of the problem. Like, our feelings are hurt. We are insulted because you don't mean us. And we actually would like that you would mean us, please. So would you look at us? But you don't. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And I have to say, the slightly slower tempo really solves a lot of the problems. I have the feeling you're able to shape the phrases more. They still work on the couple of the pronunciation things. If you look at the music, j'ai des galons à la douzaine, mais ils ne pensent à mon gré. Voici la fin de la. It's only there that it gets slower. So you must stay in tempo until there. And by the way, just if anybody's interested, where you go, that is also, I mean, you think that's a throwaway melody, but that is actually the melody of the orchestra overture to the fourth act, where it's played ba 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 da ba 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 ba. So he was thinking of something. It's not an accident.
That's true. Yeah.
So one thing I would like, where you go, right after that, the flute plays it in the orchestra, and you're listening to it being played by the flute or the piano, and you're reacting to it. So don't look too selbstvergessen. Don't look like absent-minded with mon amoureux. I just said I go there with my boyfriend, with my lover. My lover? So I need to feel that reaction coming.
Okay.
But then the reaction to the mon pauvre cœur très cons, that was great. That was great. Now, one thing that I forgot to say, I would like to feel a little bit because we're going to come back to it in the da capo, because it ends sort of like it began. It has to be those are staccato.
Right.
And I want to hear staccato. I mean, not an instrumental staccato, but j'irai danser la Séguedille, a little bit, as if you're dancing. So it should be a little bit. I mean, that's another opportunity. And then when it comes back at the end in forte, also, nous danserons la Séguedille, bras redonds. Well, I don't have the music in front of me, but you know what I'm saying. Bum, 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 like you're stamping, like you're insisting, like you've won. And that's what we have to feel. Okay. So as I say, what happens in the opera, before she gets to that, je ne guère le temps l'attendre. And now, one last thing. I would like you to change the breathing. Je ne guère le temps d'attendre. Breathe here. Car avec mon nouvel amant, près des remparts de Séville. Sing through. So take a good, quick breath by car avec mon nouvel. There's a rest there. Don't sing through there. It's a little tricky, refined thing that Bizet does there. Car avec mon nouvel amant, and then make a huge crescendo and continue singing.
Okay.
And at the very end, I need to hear that. I know this is very hard, but I need to hear the difference between. I need to hear very clearly, first it's in A sharp and then it's in A natural. I know that's really hard, but I want to hear it. So can you back it up a little bit and just do like the middle part again and then continue through. So we have to know this missing part. We have to think at the end, you've won.
Right.
He's yours. We're yours. You're the winner. You'll be free. And you go off and you will pay your debt to Don Jose and the rest of the opera. Okay?
Okay.
So back it up a little bit and then just continue through. Can you make it a little softer? I didn't play it that loudly.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, this is all.
That's okay. That's okay. We're improvising here.
Je l'ai mise à la portière. Mon pauvre cœur très consolable, mon cœur est libre comme l'air. Je n'y
Excuse me. Mina, can you back that up a little bit?
Yeah.
I know I didn't give you as much time as you would like, but qui veut m'aimer, je l'aime. But I don't think that should be stretched out so much. I don't think it should be done with a sledgehammer.
But there is, you know,
Qui veut m'aimer, just a little bit. Qui veut m'aimer, but there's no ad libitum on the up eight. Qui veut m'aimer, je l'aimerai. I know that's always done very broadly, and I'm sure when you sing it, you will be able to get whatever you want from the conductor, but not from me right now. So now I would like to hear da 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 da, qui veut m'en amener. That's so extreme. What? And I have to feel that extremity, like you're a volcano.
right.
So
Okay.
do it again.
I'm sorry, I don't know where this is actually.
That's you always start it where you've just sung me that me
Right, put it back.
tout seul. That's the flute playing. So just jump in and react. Mon amoureux.
Il est au diable, je l'ai mis à la portière, mon pauvre cœur inconsolable, mon cœur est libre comme l'air. J'ai des gamins à la douzaine, mais ils ne sont pas à mon gré. Voici la fin de nos semaines, qui veut m'aimer, je l'aimerai. Qui veut mon âme, elle est à prendre, vous arrivez au bon moment.
Urgent.
Il est temps d'attendre, car avec mon nouvel amour, près de remparts de Séville, chez mon ami la Spastia,
Staccato.
seront la Séguedille, boiront du manzanilla. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. That was too quick.
That was good. No, that was really good. That was really good. That was really good. Now, when you have somebody conducting you or playing for you, you'll be able to do all these things more freely. But the impulses have to be in place. They have to be very exact. I have to feel, especially with something like this, because the changes are so quick. It's not like Michaela singing her aria or something, where it just flows like this endless ocean. This is, as I say, everything you sing, every word, every phrase is an important piece of information that you are sending to Don Jose and to us. And you have to know exactly how you're going to send it and make these quick changes. But it was already excellent. You will be a fantastic Carmen. I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So thank you very, very much, Mina. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. That was really, really, really nice. Really great. Thank you.
So we will now move to the third victim, the third singer of the evening. This is also a former coachee of mine. I think she's going by the name of Magdalena Herfurtner. At least that's what it says on the screen. But she has at least one more name, and it is Madil Hardis. And at some point she'll explain to you how she got that name or how she found that name, but not now. Now, I asked her on short notice to come in and coach a song of mine. We have collaborated. She has helped me enormously put my online presence together as singer-songwriter. I want to say now, I hope she's not listening right now, but she is. She has opened the door to my songs for the world, and I am very, very grateful to her. But she's also a fantastic creative singer and artist, and she's at home in very different genres. But I just want to say, before I forget, I want to thank her and our mutual colleague Grace O'Keefe, who is sort of running the show right now, for making this possible. And without the two of them, this would not be happening. I wouldn't be here and you wouldn't be there. But having said that, now Magdalena is now going to perform as a singer. We did a Christmas concert together a couple months ago, and it included two of my songs that she sang. And we didn't get a chance to work together on the songs. She just had the music and my own recording of it. And the song is called Bird of the Night. And we're going to re-record it soon together and put it out as one of my songs of the week on my YouTube channel. And this is going to be our opportunity. We're going to use the recording that she made. I played the piano part, and then I sent it to her. And without working with me, she recorded the voice part to it. And so we're going to work on it now together for the first time, actually. So it's a song I wrote, I can't remember when, but it's called Bird in the Night. And I would like first for Magdalena to say something about herself, because hers is a very fascinating story. And then we will play this video that we used as part of the Christmas concert and then work a little bit together.
Yeah, it sounds perfect. You already introduced me like with everything. Yeah, I am mostly releasing music under my artist name, Madil Hardis. You will find that everywhere if you want to take a look. And otherwise, I also dabble a bit in classical music, and I'm a filmmaker. I kind of do all kinds of things and try to combine them in interesting ways. And yeah, I really fell in love with Ted's music. We know each other from a very long time ago. And I was kind of there when he started to compose. And so it's very special to me that I can sing some of your songs. Sometimes, you know, for the first time, someone else singing these songs. And you will all hear that Bird in the Night is just a wonderful song. I really, really love it. And I hope that many, many different voices will sing it in the future.
In the middle of the night, I'm awake, and I go into the garden, breathing in the stillness, and the song is there. Bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing alone? Message to a secret listener. Is it all? suddenly it stops and it's gone. And I wonder if I heard it, wonder if I dreamed it, was the song my own? Bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing alone? High in your tree, hidden in the branches, singing of things unknown. Bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing?
That's really beautiful.
Well, it's your song.
No, I mean the way you sing it. I mean, it is my song, but I sing it too, but it's not, that's not, you don't sing it like I sing it, or I don't sing it like, I mean, the way you come back at the end, with the way this sort of half breathed bird in the night. Oh my God, that's so incredible. I hope when we re-record it, you can still do that.
I'll try my best, but I really think it's great for a female voice. That's why I really want more singers to sing it, because I really think it's just perfect. It gives you so much opportunity to show emotions that you cannot often show in a song. I think so.
Thank you. Well, you ennoble the song, I must say. And just to put in a quick plug, because I haven't said a lot about myself as a singer-songwriter, my songs are, first of all, they're more and more available to listen to on YouTube. 84 are on Spotify under my name. And on YouTube also, there's a channel that Magdalena has helped me a lot with that has probably close to 50 songs. And when this is over, I will post the different links and addresses, and also my email address underneath the Facebook thing, because if anyone would like to get in touch with me for any reason, don't hesitate. You're very welcome. I mean, we're in a very, very difficult time for musicians and singers and music lovers. And if there's anything I can do to help or connect, and that's why I'm doing this too, these free online coachings. It's just to make us feel like in a way we're still making music. And because for us musicians, making music is part of being alive. And it's been a long time, I think, since we've been able to feel that way. And so please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. And any of my songs, or almost any of my songs, are available for anyone else who wants to sing and or play them. I have all the music, and I'll be happy to send it out to you. So just get in touch with me. But of course, our flagship is going to be partly some of the recordings that Magdalena's. We just put up a vocalise that she sang just really beautifully about a week ago. And this Bird in the Night is another thing. And she sings it so beautifully. Now, however, I would like to say a few things about the song, and then maybe you can incorporate that. Now, we don't have a playback separate to listen to. So you can try out the one or the other thing a cappella as you wish. And otherwise, we'll just have to try to work this into our new recording. And we really need to cut it too, because when my hands come in at the beginning, they're just so gigantic. I mean, I do have big hands, but they're not that big. And And I don't want to have to look at myself during the piano solo. But we'll talk about that later. But I've talked a lot about what we call the dramaturgy of the first two arias, and this also has a plot. And the plot is the singer goes outside at night, all alone. That's important. And hears a bird singing in the darkness and speaks to the bird and asks the bird all sorts of questions that are sort of existential questions. Are you weeping for a day that has passed? Are you calling to a new one, waiting for a new light or a friend somewhere? Are you singing that you're glad you're alive? Is it all a secret message to a secret listener? Is it all a prayer? And then after the piano solo, do you sing because you're lonely at night? Are you singing because you're happy? Singing to be singing? Is it joy or care? And all this has this recurring thing, which you'll hear also at the beginning, which is this, it's the refrain, bird in the night, sitting in the darkness. Why do you sing alone? High in your tree, hidden in the branches, which you pronounce branches? Okay. Singing of things unknown. So at the very beginning, where she starts out of nowhere, a cappella and wordlessly, that's the bird that she hears. So it starts with the song of the bird, which also becomes the refrain. And then the singer narrates, in the middle of the night, I'm awake, and I go into the garden, breathing in the stillness, and the song is there. And it's really important that that song glow. And the song is there, because this is all about the bird song. And from that moment on, the singer is asking this bird questions. So at the very beginning already, we have to have three different sort of voices. First, the voice of the bird, and the last note of that is taken over, hopefully seamlessly, by the piano. And then the singer narrates going out into the garden or the balcony or something, and hears this bird singing. And then the singer starts addressing the bird. So we have to feel these different things. And we have to feel also that each of these questions is somehow different. And I don't know how to do that, but you'll figure out a way. But certainly one way, it's really important that we understand the text, because I spend as much time on the lyrics as I do on the music. They're really important to me. And you have a style of singing. Now, by the way, she says she dabbles in classical music. Did you say that? Or something like that? She doesn't dabble. She sings a killer Queen of the Night. Folks, I'm telling you, but you probably hear that. She has a great classical technique. But when she sings this, or when she sings her own music, which is also fascinating to listen to, she sings in a different style. Now, I am open to different styles of singing, but the way I sing, now, the basis of my way of singing is that I'm not a singer. That's my secret. I don't know anything about vocal technique. I think I have a healthy voice, and I just try to take a good breath and sing, and make the words clear. But I have listened to classical singers for a long time. So that's probably rubbed off a little bit on my style. But when you go, in the middle, I sing, in the middle of the night time. You sing, in the middle of the night. And it's a different genre.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just different. But when people sing my music, they have to decide what style they want to sing it in. I don't want it to sound operatic or like Schubert.
Hmm.
It's too direct. It's too it's too normal. It's and the word it's not literary in any way. I mean, it's highly worked out, but it should sound like one person singing to another.
Mhm.
But a side effect of this habit you have is you kind of do a fade out. And when people sing pop songs and music, they like do this really nice fade out at the end of the word. In the middle of the night, I'm awake. And then we don't get the end of the word, and then we don't understand it. So I get, in the middle of the night, I'm away. But you're not away, you know? Or especially in this recurring thing, bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing alone? Now, I know it's difficult for singers to transport final M's and N's, but I would advise you to somehow think of them as sort of weird consonants, that they are voiced. Bird in the night, singing in the darkness, why do you sing alone? High in your tree, hidden in the branches, singing of, and you do a wrong rhythm there, but we'll fix that. Singing of things unknown. Finish the word. I don't mind that you what they call in German abphrasieren, that you do a little fade, but the ends of the phrases have to be as definite as the beginning. It just can't like kind of fade away. So be more definite about that. Would you like to try any of that?
Absolutely,
Okay.
yeah. In the middle of the night, I'm awake.
Excuse me, can you sing through? In the middle of the nighttime.
In the middle of the night, I'm awake. And I go into the garden, breathing.
Don't breathe there.
Okay.
I know it says breathe, but
Yeah.
breathing, but don't breathe there. And I go into the garden, breathing in the and then get ready for the magic moment on song. So do it again.
In the middle of the night, I'm awake. And I go into the garden, breathing in the stillness and the song.
Can you give yourself a little time there? And the song. Can you be a little bit more sibilant on song? And the song is there. We have to feel like time stands still.
Yeah. And the song is there.
Can you do it without doing so much of a swell? And the song is there.
And the song is there.
Okay, and can you do it without scooping on there? Song is there. Come from above.
And the song is there.
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 I'm losing you on the sound. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just me.
Oh yeah. It breaks off now. It should be
Okay.
And the song is there.
Yeah. So connect. Connect also the vowel sounds. Now, from this moment on, you're not narrating. You're singing to this bird.
sitting in the darkness, why do you sing alone? High in your tree, hidden in the branches, singing of things unknown.
Good. Much better. That's much better. Okay, and then we get back to another verse where you ask all these questions, and then you sing again. We do kind of two verses, the double verses, because there's so many questions to be asked. And then we get to the refrain again. And I have to say, in rondo forms or da capo arias, it's really important to me that what seems to be a repetition is never exactly the same. Because in the meantime, we've experienced something else. And that has some sort of effect on the way you come back to the refrain. So keep that in mind, because you sing the refrain 3 times, right?
Yeah.
You sing it towards the beginning, and then there are verses, and then, or maybe you sing it 4 times. No, 3. And then after the piano solo, you ask some more questions, and then you sing it once more. And each time needs to be different. I mean, even if nothing happened in between, the fact that you've already sung it once or twice should cause you to sing it differently this time. So that, because all my songs, it's important to me that they take place in time and nothing stands still. It's not like I find a sound and I stick to it, but something is always moving forward, and part of the story being told is also, I think, singing the recurrences, the reiterations of the refrain differently.
Yeah, it's a journey of self-discovery in this song, I think.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And then at the very end, so you ask you wait patiently for me to be finished with my piano solo, and hopefully you get back in time to ask some more questions. And you ask, do you sing because you're lonely at night? Are you singing because you're happy? Singing to be singing. Is it joy or care? And then, suddenly, so the whole time, the bird has been singing, and you've been speaking to it. And then suddenly the bird stops. And we have to feel you're not asking any more questions, or you're asking yourself questions now. And now we get to the existential aspect of the whole song. And we have to feel that coming from you. But then suddenly stops and it's gone. And now I wonder if it was even really there. Or did I dream it? Or was it coming from inside me? And this is one of the questions that are left unanswered. So we don't know whether the whole thing was imagined or really, where there really was a bird out there for you to ask all these questions to. I mean, obviously the bird is not going to answer those questions to begin with, but let's just assume the whole time there was a bird there, because we're hearing it sing. But maybe the songs that we hear come from inside us. And that has to be a really important turning moment when you sing, but then suddenly it stops and it's gone. And I wonder if I heard it. Wonder if I dreamed it. Was the song my own? And this question is left hanging as you repeat the refrain once more. So could you do that last thing a cappella? So I not only want to hear, I want to see this sudden change when you say but then suddenly.
Yeah.
So I've played my piano solo and you're going to come back. Do you sing because you're lonely at night?
Okay, you want me to start there? I will do.
If you don't mind.
Yeah. Do you sing because you're lonely at night? Are you singing because you're happy? singing to be singing, is it joy or care?
Okay, can you ask these questions with more intention? Do you remember the work that we did on before we did the new recording, the vocalise, where you got so that you were singing it by heart?
Mhm.
I need to feel that too. Like you know, now I have a new question and I'm going to sing it in a specific way so that I'm thinking the content of the lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's why I sing it. Not I sing it because Ted said
Yeah.
sing it.
I'll try.
Okay. And and one thing. I know that the tempo is given, but can you on the 16th notes, can you sing as if it were more free? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, and not da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da. Give yourself somehow more time for the short notes so that the thoughts and the text can sound.
Mhm. Do you sing because you're lonely at night?
Don't lose it. Don't lose it. You're going away right in the middle of the word lonely.
Yeah, but it's so much fun to do that.
Okay, I don't mind you doing it, but don't do it all the time.
No. Okay.
Save it.
Do you sing because you're lonely at night? Are you singing because you're happy? Singing to be singing, is it joy or care?
Ba-da-da-da-da. 1, 2, and.
But then suddenly it stops and it's gone. And I wonder if I heard it, wonder if I dreamed it. Was the song my own?
So when you say here song, that harkens back to the first time you on the first page when they sing, and the song is there.
Mhm.
I mean, in a way, the whole song is about song.
Yeah.
And what is it? Where does it come from? And what does it mean? But just as an entity, as a general entity, there's something very precious about it.
Yeah.
Can you do it once more? Exactly the same thing. Once more.
From But Then Suddenly.
Yeah.
But then suddenly it stops and it's gone. And I wonder if I heard it, wonder if I dreamed it. Was the song my own? Bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing alone? High in your tree, hidden in the branches, singing of things unknown. Bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing?
And when we record it, do that last note without a crescendo. Now, singers, I know it's hard to hold a note, especially a good note, without doing something with it. And doing something with it means like expanding it and putting some nice vibrato on it. But that's not always appropriate.
Yeah, I can do that.
So could you just do the last iteration of "but" and then and do, I know it's a cappella and these are not normal circumstances, but give me that breathy thing again that you did on the, that's just so gorgeous. Make me cry.
Bird in the night, sitting in the darkness, why do you sing?
Better,
Mhm.
better.
Do you
Better.
mind the vibrato at the end? Would you rather have it?
I don't know.
Mm,
I don't know. I have to say, I'm used to singing my own songs, any way I can, and just trying to get through them. Because also you have to realize I'm playing the piano at the same time, and those piano parts are a bitch. Sometimes they're really very hard. I don't want to discourage any of you from trying, but to sing it and play is really one of the hardest things I've ever done. So that's my excuse for not singing better, because I'm busy playing the piano. And, my excuse for not playing the piano better is I'm busy singing. So I have an excuse. But someone who has such technical means at her disposal as you do, you can choose.
Yeah.
So this is something to be looked at, and you have to make your own choices. Every singer has. I want everybody who sings or plays my music to follow the directions, as if it were just a normal art song. But within that, there has to be a certain amount of freedom. And if you can put some of a different style in there, and it's convincing, why not?
Okay.
In any case, you sing it really, really beautifully. And I want to thank you very much, and Andrea and Mine, for all having showed up, so to speak, for this virtual masterclass, this little virtual meeting. And it's just such a pleasure to work with you and hear you sing. And I hope that you will be happy with the work that we did. And anyone else who's interested in taking part in this, you are very welcome to apply. There will be a link on the Facebook page for you to apply to. And I want to continue this. The next session will be in exactly 4 weeks minus an hour and 41 minutes. In other words, on Friday, March 19th at 7 p.m. Munich time, 6 p.m. Greenwich time, 1 p.m. New York time, etc. And so we will continue this, and I hope perhaps also even after we can all come out of our caves and rub our eyes and see the light of day and take off our masks and make live music together. Still, I don't see any reason why we can't continue coaching online as well as we can, because for me, it makes me feel like I can come to life again, and to hear such wonderful singers and such people that I really, really like too. It's just very satisfying. So I thank you all for singing with me and listening to my coaching. And I thank all of you out there for listening and watching this. And I hope to see you again very soon. Have a good evening.